My grandma and your grandma were sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, hey now, Aiko, Aiko, ande. Giacomo Fino, anale, Giacomo Finale.
Hey y'all again, this is Pretty Pink 315. I made another response video. Eventually I think I'll start making my own on my own topics, but I kind of, for right now, like weaving through the YouTube videos on different topics and just responding to the ones I like. Now this response is very, very late because the original video was actually posted over 2 years ago, but it's an interesting topic and it was posted by Libra 13 Witch. So I always like to mention the people who originate the topic so it doesn't seem like I'm just taking it and running with it. It was posted by Libra 13 Witch like back in like late 2009, and it's called Let's Talk About Hex. So her initial question was like, if you were faced with losing your life, would you curse or hex someone to stop them? Having access to all other avenues, would you hex them, was the question. And I have to say, for me, short answer, yes. Absolutely. I don't even think I would hesitate, because I can unequivocally state that if it means my life or yours, I would hex. Definitely. Long answer. Well, Libra 13, which she explains the loopholes of the Wiccan read. The and it harm none, do what you will. These loopholes in the read that, pretty much allow for magical self-defense. And I'm not Wiccan anyway, so I'm not bound by those spiritual laws. However, I do feel like she made a very strong argument when she said, and I'm quoting loosely here, not verbatim. She said, if you were in a physical altercation with someone, if someone made a physical threat against you, came at you with the intention to kill, to take you off this earth, you understand? You would not just stand there and not defend yourself. Your human instinct is to protect your own life. So if that means you have to hurt the other person to do it, then hey, that's what it's going to be. And you should have those same instincts when it comes to spiritual or psychic attacks. Like, I don't really understand like this whole thing people have about, oh no, I'm not going to hex, I'm not going to curse, I'm going to respond in light and love and surround myself in white light. Okay, like none of that works. And no, I'm not going to say I don't understand that, because I do. Because I say this as someone who has been there. I say this as someone who had been of that mindset. Probably about 6 years ago when I first, started really coming into my spirituality and coming into the craft, someone had launched a spiritual attack against me. And at the time, I was like, I'm just going to protect myself. Like, I'm coming into my spirituality, but I'm also coming from my Christian background, being raised, by my Catholic mom and my Baptist grandmother. I'm still coming from this, I'm still kind of on that Jesus tip, like, okay, I'm turning the other cheek, so I'm like, I'm not going to fight back. I'm going to walk in the light. I'm not going to resort to the quote unquote dark path or whatever. Okay, and what do you think happened? You think that person gave it to him? You think they let up because I decided not to fight fire with fire? Hell no, they went back and got more fire. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people need to really understand that in order to deal with people like that, you've got to learn to speak their language, period. And clearly this whole notion of harm none is not even in their vernacular. Otherwise they wouldn't have launched an unwarranted attack against you to begin with. And I understand that people have got morals and they want to stick to them, but really I'd strongly suggest taking a more critical look at the situation, because if you think holding tight to all your morals is going to score you some cosmic brownie points in the end. You in for one hell of a surprise, especially in a situation like that. Because if you think about it, harm none means harm none, including yourself. So if you deliberately allow someone to destroy you, if you're enabling them, you're just as guilty as they are. And in fact, going against the read anyway, if you're wicked, if that's what you do. So really think about it, because I'm pretty sure most seasoned witches know that surrounding yourself in white light doesn't always work. And then what are you going to do? And like I said, I really think that this so-called taking the higher road or turning the other cheek business really comes from a place of fear. And I think it's the fear of accumulating some kind of bad karma or something. And I'm of the opinion that how most people entertain the notion of karma or the law of return or whatever you want to call it is really wrong, because most people I talk to tend to look at it as a system of punishment and reward. So if I do something bad, I'll be punished. If I do something good, I'll be rewarded. And I don't think that's how it works at all. What's bad and what's good is purely subjective. So the universe doesn't give a damn about what you think is bad or good. The universe's only objective is to seek balance. And by balance, I don't mean order all the time. People think that's what it means. No, I mean regular cycles of chaos and order. Chaos turns to order, turns to chaos, turns to order, and so on like that. We should never be in one of those stages for too long, but for whatever reason, the powers that be see it fit that the world goes through these stages regularly. That being said, I think karma works like let me see if I can convey this in the right way. If the energy I send out into the world doesn't agree with the natural order of things, doesn't agree with this cycle, then it will inevitably be sent back to me. Meaning, if I disturb the flow, if what I do causes a ripple in the patterns of the universe will straighten itself out, and that ripple will come right back in my direction where it came from. It really can't be any other way, because I'm the source of that disturbance. It's got to go somewhere, so it has to come back to me. And that's why it's so important to take the time to meditate and understand the reason why you're doing what you're doing, whether it be a curse or a blessing, because you have to take the time to understand the impact it's going to have and on who. Because I guarantee there's not a witch out there who hasn't gone through this already. Sometimes a curse turns out to be a blessing, and sometimes a blessing turns out to be a curse. It's all a matter of focusing your intent and being thorough and not half-assed about what you do. Everything we do has a consequence, for better or worse. But the nature of that consequence really depends on our own nature as individuals and the nature of our actions, the nature of what we do. An act of self-preservation is obviously going to yield a more desirable result than an act of petty vengeance or jealousy. But again, that all goes back to you. So that's my 2 cents on the whole hexing business. It's all in how you use it. Take care and be well.